What's going on, guys? Failed to listen. Welcome back to more Failed Thoughts. And in this video, we got quite a bit to talk about. And I want to get a couple things out of the way first. Some of you may remember in my last video or the video before that, I talked about my dog and the seizures. Well, those things continued and they just really kind of got worse in a way, and I had to put my dog down. And I don't mean take it to someone and have them put it down. I mean, I had to do it myself. And let me tell you, as someone that's never had, his own children, that dog was like my own child. The closest thing that I've ever had to having a baby girl or a baby boy, you know what I mean? And nothing in this world can prepare you for something like that. And I hope that some of you with dogs or cats, what have you, never have to do anything like that. I don't want to talk about how it was done or anything like that. I'll just say that I had to do it myself, and that's been really hard on me. Very, very hard on me, and that's why there's been a lack of videos and just other things going on. Not many Twitch streams or anything. I don't think I've streamed in like a week and a half, 2 weeks or whatever, but I want to get back into it. I want to continue to make more videos here on YouTube. As far as the podcast, let me get to that, because that sort of happened around the same time that a lot of the stuff with my dog was going on, and this job and everything. I'm getting really busy with that. So we actually did do the podcast, but my dumbass did not press record for my microphone on my end for what I was doing with the Audacity software. So we're going to have to do it all over again, and we're probably going to cover a lot of the same topics. So we'll probably be doing that today or tomorrow, I would say. So I think you can expect the podcast very, very soon. Those two things being said, though, let's talk a little bit about Ryzen, and let's talk a little bit about the Nintendo Switch. Ryzen is probably about what I expected, maybe even a little bit less so. I guess I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little disappointed by some of the gaming benchmarks, some of the gaming numbers that we've seen, but it's not bad. It's not bad. At least right now, you could say that Ryzen is very good for gaming. It's not great. It's definitely not amazing for gaming, but that will improve over time, as we've seen before. But I can't blame any of this so-called tech press for being a little disappointed themselves. Some of them are very, very disappointed, but they have to review the product as is. You know what I mean? For what I want and for what I do, I think it's going to be fine, but who knows? Come crunch time, when it's time to pull that trigger on a CPU, and I have all the money for the PC, I may stick with Intel. I don't know. You know what I mean? But I think for what I do, especially when it comes to tasks like rendering or streaming and things like that, it's going to be fine. It's going to be more than fine for someone like me, and I'm going to get little to no slowdown when it comes to things like that, at least in terms of, streaming and such. I mean, if you're rendering an HD video in Sony Vegas or something, it's probably going to use 90 to 100% of your CPU at all times. So you're not going to be able to do much, and you're going to have a lot of slowdown most of the time while that's going on. I try to, walk away from my computer as much as I can when I am rendering a video. So Ryzen, from a gaming standpoint, from, rendering videos and streaming and such, someone like myself, a content creator, I think it's still going to be fine for the most part. But Nintendo Switch, I am going to go both ways because I do see both sides on this. There are a lot of issues with the hardware. Some people can't even get their Nintendo Switch to turn on. Some people are already reporting that, taking it in and out of the dock, is causing smudging and scratches. Some people are having software issues where the game will be in the Nintendo Switch, but it'll say please insert the card, and it's already in there. Things like that are happening. I don't have one. I can't speak to any of this. I don't really know, but you know, here's the thing. Again, I do see both sides, so I'm not trying to damage control for anyone. I'm trying to remain as objective as possible when it comes to this. Product should work out of the box, right? Like, you can't just be like, well, I'm not having any of those issues. It must be something that they're doing. You can't pretend just because you're not having them that other people aren't having those issues. That's damage control, and that's corporate slaving for these companies that don't give a damn about you. Fact of the matter is, a lot of people are having issues, and you just gotta accept the facts. Now, again, I do see both sides that this is pretty typical for a launch of a new console, right? Software-related issues, hardware-related issues in some cases. We've seen it last generation. The Xbox 360 was in a really bad spot for a while, but it continued to sell even with things like RROD, and I don't know what else to say beyond that. I mean, yeah, at some point I'm sure these issues will get ironed out, but people expect a working product right now. They want a working, playable Nintendo Switch at this moment, not a year from now when they have to buy a revised model or something. That's not what people want. They want their Nintendo Switch, their PlayStation 4, their Xbox One, and their PC parts working right now, okay? So, like, I'm not gonna get Ryzen and then be like, well, you know, I wish the critics would have reviewed this in a year or two when improvements have been made. That's not how it works. You have to review something as is. So that's why I try a lot of times with some of the games to review them, you know, 6 months to a year later. Part of that is just because I'm really behind on my backlog and stuff. But, you know, reviewing them 6 months to a year later gives me the chance to play that game in its what is probably its best possible state with all of the patches and improvements that have been made. So yeah, man, again, I see both sides, but I lean more toward those that are having the issues. It should work out of the box, and people shouldn't have issues like that. Something with the Joy-Cons and like the strap or something, people attaching those the wrong way. I'm hearing that is 100% user error, that they just didn't put it on right or something. I couldn't say. I don't know. Again, I don't have one. So, gonna try to get that podcast up and ready for you guys, you know, tomorrow or the next day. Maybe we'll do it today, but it probably won't be up until tomorrow or the next day. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. We'll have to wait and see how I feel. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry that there haven't been many videos. Again, I really appreciate the continued support. I appreciate your patience. Thank you guys again. Take care. Peace.